Clark. I'm head of the Humanities faculty, and I'm here to talk to you about some just general revision tips that you can be supporting your young person with as they're going through their Year 11 exams. So first things first, before I get started, all students will be given this really excellent and useful revision guide. So I really recommend that you have a look through that, and you have a look through that with your son or daughter at home to support them. And I'm just going to pull out some really key things to help you understand what they need to be doing with their revision so that they get the most out of the time that they're spending revising. So good revision should have three key components. The first one is knowledge organising. The second one is practicing of skills. And the third one is getting feedback and improving. And so I'm going to talk you through each one, but the thing to be mindful of is that most students get stuck at the knowledge organising stage, and that's where they stay for the bulk of their revision. But the best revision combines all three elements, and the closer to the exams you get, the more time students should be spending on the practicing of skills and the getting feedback elements of revision. So to start with, knowledge organising is our first stage of revision. And what students need to create knowledge organisers are topic checklists from their teachers, or these might also be exam board specifications. So I've got a little example here of a topic checklist that some subjects give out to students, and you'll see with this one it's got smiley faces, so students can actually rank where they feel with the different topics. You need revision books or your school exercise books, so the notes that students have been taking over the year, the whole course. Revision resources from teachers, so quite often we'll give out revision packs, and online revision resources and videos are also useful when creating your knowledge organisers. You also need possibly a blank knowledge organiser from teachers. Some subjects create knowledge organisers, and it's useful when students are revising to actually have blank knowledge organisers that they themselves can fill in. The next step is creating your knowledge organiser. So to do this, the best thing, I always recommend this, is to start with the weakest area. So obviously each subject is going to have lots of different topics, so you're going to be making lots of little knowledge organisers for different topics within subjects. So the best place to start is an area that your young person knows is their weakest area. Quite often with revision we shy away from the things we find difficult, and that is quite often the best place to start, because if you can overcome the subjects that you struggle with, then that's going to put you in a really strong position going towards the exam. So the topic checklist, if you rank your topic checklist, or if you've got the exam board specification, if you just highlight the different topics, colour code them, green can be something you feel really confident with, yellow can be something that you're not so strong on, and red is an area that's a real problem, then you know that the sort of red areas are where you should be starting. The next thing you need to do is decide on how you actually want to organise your knowledge. So there are many ways to do this, like I've already said. So you could create a mind map. Many students like doing mind maps. You may have a knowledge organiser, you may design your own one. There may be subject ones already available, or you might like revision cards, or there's other ways that you can do that. And I'm just going to quickly show you a simple one that doesn't involve anything other than a blank piece of paper. So you get a piece of A4 and you fold it into three, and you fold it into three again, and then what you end up with is a nine squares, so a nine grid. And then what you can start to do in each of your grids is try and write topic summaries, key points. So it might be for a whole topic area, and then you're pulling out the key points, and you pull out 9 key points, and then on the other side you can then put your key terms and things like that. So the nice thing about this is it's forcing you to reflect on and to think about what are the critical bits of information for that topic. So you need to use relevant class notes and relevant revision resources, and then you create your topic summaries. So like with this, what you put into your knowledge organisers will be summaries. So students have to read through the notes and they have to pull out what's really important, the critical key knowledge. And the most important thing with this is that they're using their own words. If all you're doing is copying what has written in a revision book or written in a revision booklet or what you've written in class, you're not processing that information. So it's really important that they read through their notes. They may highlight as they're reading through, and then from that, they then pull out those key points and create their knowledge organiser. The next step is what to do with them. Many students think once they've created it, that's all, stick it on the wall, just look at it occasionally. But it's really important that students are active in how they use their knowledge organisers. So there's different ways that they can be active with that. So one is to reread it, to go over it, read it again. Another one would be, following on from reading it, is to then test yourself on it. So this can include doing exam questions, so that's the practice skills side of it, which I'm going to go over in a minute. Another thing they can do is rewrite them. So, hide them, have a go at, can they recreate the mind map? Can they recreate their 9-square grid? Also, a brilliant thing to do, and this is where you can support your young person, is where they get someone else to test them. So you have the knowledge organiser and they are going over it and giving you the information that's on that knowledge organiser. And as I've already said, it's really important to do this with topics that you struggle with. Students quite often shy away from those topics that they struggle with, put them to one side and think they'll deal with them later. And it's really important that when we're being organised with our revision, we recognise where our weak points are and we start there. When should we start making these knowledge organisers? Really, now. The sooner the better. All of our GCSEs have a lot of knowledge, a lot of content, and the sooner the students start to organise that, the better. And they'll start to feel a little bit in control of what they need to cover if they start making these knowledge organisers now. And leading into the mocks, it's a brilliant time to be making these knowledge organisers. Also, when they've got assessments coming up in class, that's something that they can be doing to help and support with their revision for that assessment, but also that then will link into revision for the exam further down the line. Okay, so that's stage 1, knowledge organising. So stage 2, this is the practicing of skills. So what you need for that, you need exam questions, and you can get these from past papers available on exam board websites, from revision books, and from teachers. So what you do when you're practicing skills, so you've done your knowledge organising, you've done a little bit of going over and making sure that knowledge is secure in your mind. Then what you need to do, as part of actively going over your knowledge organiser, is to switch off all of your distractions, including phone, music, computers, TV, put all your notes away, put on a timer, and answer the question to time. The recommendation that I would suggest is starting with shorter questions and then gradually building up to longer ones and then building up to full papers. So this can be done as part of your knowledge organising, and once you've got your knowledge organised, you can then have a go at doing some shorter exam questions, and then gradually, as you're deepening your revision, you'll start to build up to do longer papers or longer questions and full papers. When to start doing this? I would suggest that you do the shorter questions as part of knowledge tests, and then over the next few months you schedule the use of longer questions and full papers into the revision timetable. And then the last month or two before the exam, you should be trying to do weekly practice across all subjects, utilising feedback, which is stage 3. So stage 3 is the feedback stage of revision. So what you need for this, you need exam mark schemes, so these can be got from the exam board on the websites, but equally you could ask teachers for that. Model answers, again these can be found online, but equally teachers may provide those for you. You need answers that you've created in your stage 2 practice, so where you've been practicing you actually need those answers because it may be that you're marking those answers or you're getting somebody else to mark them. And really with this, you possibly need others to work with. So it could be that your young person is working with their friends as part of that revision process. And you may call on your teachers to help you as well, so students can give in work to teachers to mark, but we equally need to be mindful that teachers are putting on revision sessions and marking in-class assessments, so they may not always be able to support with marking extra work that students are doing. So really one of the best ways to do it is to go to the exam board mark schemes and to look at model answers and to get peers to support with this. So how to do it? So you've done your practice, you've written an exam question, and the first thing you can do is mark your own work. So the first thing that students can do is mark their own work and then redo it and improve it. To mark your work, you can do it yourself using the mark schemes and the model answers. You can get a friend to mark it for you, and then you can swap, they can mark their friends. And another thing that we can be doing as part of this is creating our own exam questions. So rather than marking and feeding back, we can be looking at what's going on, thinking about the kind of exam questions that can come up, and we can create our own exam questions. And then what we could do is have a go at answering our own exam questions, or perhaps share those with our peers, and they can be answering the exam questions that have been set by each other and marking each other's work. And the other thing that students can be doing is trying to teach others as well. So, you know, get them to teach you the subjects, get them to talk you through how to answer an exam question. And like I keep saying, marking someone else's work is another way of doing this. So if students are working together with their peers, marking each other's work and feeding back to each other, that's a really useful system for the feedback. And then when to start this? So really you want to be trying to do this throughout your revision. And sorry, I'm going to go back. So really we should be trying to do this throughout our revision, and we should be building it up. So we start with our knowledge organising, we then go into practice, and then we're seeking feedback as part of that process. So knowledge organising, practicing of skills, and getting feedback and improving. So those are the three key things. So when students are making exam timetables or revision timetables, the really, really important thing for them is to think about what tasks they're going to be doing within that revision session. Are they going to do knowledge organising? Are they going to do practicing? Or are they going to spend some time marking or getting feedback from others and then trying to improve their work? And a good revision timetable has a mix of all of them. And it's really important that the knowledge organising is done early and we move into practicing and giving feedback or getting feedback, because those are really the way that we learn as part of our revision process. And I think that's about it. Thank you.